Now, why not SharePoint? That's a good question. I have experienced that several times in my career, especially in the startup space. I get it, it's free, it comes with your Office 365 subscription, and it seems like a really great idea because you have it in your mind that what you need is a place to store documents. Um, and that's true. It is a document repository, definitely. No doubt. You can keep all kinds of documents there. You can collaborate on those documents between your employees. In my experience, what happens is you set it up at first. You have great big plans to, organize folders. People have opportunities to have their own sort of workspaces. Plus, there's the shared workspaces, and you can set all this up. Um, People can collaborate, contribute to documents. The problem is that very, very quickly, what happens is that you will find yourself with a giant file cabinet, but no actual structure or control over it. So the next step that people will often do in that situation is they will somebody's job will be to keep track of all the things in SharePoint. And so you will have multiple versions of the same document. You'll have them scattered all over the system. People will save copies of things. People will edit things. And while SharePoint, can be set up with some permissions or restrictions to, prevent, okay, only certain people can go in this folder or only people can go in this folder. What it does not do well is really actually manage your documentation. It's a great repository, but it does not actually manage. And as you grow, or as your business matures, you start to build out more processes internally. You have all these other pieces of information. So you've got documents, you've got records, you've got trainings, you've got all of these things sort of scattered all over the place. And what you'll be trying to do is find them and manage them and organize them and pull them up quickly, find them quickly. Is it the right version? There's no way to know those kinds of things. The other thing about a SharePoint repository is that there's no actual workflow processes that come with it. So a review and approval, people can create a document and then other people need to review it. And then you guys all decide, okay, this is the final procedure that we're going to do for our raw material handling or for are receiving, in the warehouse. And so everybody will have their own folders. You end up very quickly with multiple copies of the same record in all these different places, and you no longer have a single source of truth. You no longer know whose copy is the right copy. Never mind any other process. And this is where a purpose-built tool like Qualio will really help you in the long run. Training, right? As you grow and you have more and more people, you will need standard operating procedures in order to ensure that people are doing things the same way every time. You have zero possibility of, well, not zero. Let me back up. You can manage training using a spreadsheet. It is a massive time suck. It is difficult to control. And again, over time, you will end up resourcing the document management activities where a whole lot of processes will get built purely for the purpose of managing the process. Never mind that the tool could actually do that for you. SharePoint is not capable of those things. You're going to need to manage your suppliers. Now, maybe you're going to have an ERP or you have an accounting system. Great. There's still all these other records that go with that. There's the receiving inspection records. There's, if you have raw materials that come in or components, there's going to be problems with those suppliers. How are you going to handle the documentation around that, the communication with those suppliers? We have a purpose-built feature in Qualio for managing your suppliers. And then, as I alluded to, problem handling. There will be upstream problems to be handled with your supply chain. There will be downstream problems to be handled with your customers. They're going to have complaints. You're going to want to have a structure and a process to deal with that. None of these processes can be done easily or in a scalable manner in a document repository tool like SharePoint. All of those things will go a long way to make your business streamlined, efficient, scalable, and again, set you up for the future as you go upstream with bigger and bigger customers. You must have process. The process will help you be efficient. You won't need to hire resources just to support the processes, because the tools that you give your employees to do their job will enable that to be possible. So thanks for joining my TED Talk. I hope that I've given you something to think about as far as growth and scalability, and why you cannot do these kinds of things in a tool like SharePoint, and that a purpose-built tool like Qualio will really, it's good business. It's a great investment in efficiency, and it's a forward-looking step that you take so that you can scale. Thank you, and do let me know if you have any other questions. Have a good day.